Well, hello folks. How y'all doing? I'm Dean with Dean's Woodworking. Welcome to the shop. Y'all come on in and make yourself comfortable. So today we're not going to do any turning. We're going to go ahead and put the tools up. But I just want to talk to everybody. First of all, I'm recording this on Christmas Eve. And the reason being is I want to wish everyone happy holidays, season greetings. And for me and my home, we celebrate Christmas, so Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I want to thank everyone who has commented, who has watched the videos, who's given me thumbs up, shared the videos. Who knew that anyone would want to listen to anything I said? But I thank you all for the support, watching the videos. The feedback has been awesome. In the very beginning, I stated that I wanted to make this a channel that would entertain you, educate you, and most of all, motivate you to get back out in your shop and make something. The feedback of how many folks tell me they enjoy the video, how many folks tell me how much they learned from the videos. The most special for me is the folks say, you motivated me to get back out in my shop and do something. Folks, that's what it's all about. This is not a channel for me, it's a channel for you. And the whole reason I started the channel, and some of you may have heard me say this before, was that when I started, there just wasn't that many folks to ask. After a period of time, I joined the Gulf Coast Woodturners Association, and it made all the difference in the world. So folks, if you've got a local club, go at least visit. I don't know of any nicer folks around than woodturners. I was a photographer for 30 years and I didn't think it could get any better than that, but I can tell you, woodturners will share just almost anything with you. If you need help, they'll help you. Don't be afraid to ask. Today I wanted to answer a few questions that have come up and address some feedback that I got. So one of the things that keeps coming up is, how do you stop green wood from cracking? And I've gone over this in videos past, but I don't think we can ever go over it too much. I turn a lot of green wood. And if you just turn something out of green wood and just set it out on the countertop to dry, it's going to crack and split and you're going to have a mess. What I do when I turn green wood is immediately, as soon as I can get to it, I go ahead and coat it either with a good coat of Danish oil or a good coat of Minwax antique oil finish. And what that does is that seals the wood and it all but eliminates cracking. Crepe myrtle is a perfect example. You lay a stick of crepe myrtle out on the ground and that stuff it almost makes perfect firewood because it split itself. It's terrible how it splits. But especially with crosses, crepe myrtle is one of my favorite woods to turn crosses out of. I coat it with Minwax antique oil finish or Danish oil, and I just don't get any cracks, and if I do, they're very small. Hopefully that helps you folks where green wood cracking concerns. A lot of questions on the gnomes. Where do you get your fir? The fir is one of those things that you can get almost anywhere. Any craft store or any store that has a craft department probably has some fir. You can find fir at the fabric stores. The other place you can find fir is Amazon. So you can order it online or get it locally. One other thing, the resale shops. Go in and buy a cheap old torn up fur coat for next to nothing. It works great, guys. One other question I get so much. What speed was your lathe turning at? Well, folks, I've got this big old one-way. This thing with all the accessories on it and everything is weighing in over 1,000 pounds. The speed that I can turn something on this versus what you might be able to turn something on say a mini lathe, miles apart, guys. So it's a little difficult to tell you exactly what speed you should turn at. And as far as what I'm turning at, that can be very misleading. You see, the one-way doesn't have a readout on it. So anything I tell you is kind of guessing. But I can tell you in craft supplies, one of the things that they have said, and it's been around ever since I've been around wood turning, and I'm sure long before that, is whatever the diameter of your project is, times the speed you're running, should be somewhere between 6,000 and 9,000. So let's stop and think about that a minute. Okay, let's say you have a 3-inch spindle. You're turning it at 1,000 RPMs. 3 times 1,000 is 3,000. That's well below the speed that they're talking about. Let's say you take a 3-inch spindle and you're turning it at 3,000 RPMs. Well, now you're right at 9,000. But let's take that into a bowl. Let's say just a 10-inch bowl. Not a huge bowl, not exactly a real small one, but we'll call that average. So if we're turning a 10-inch bowl at 1,000 RPMs, 10 times 1,000 RPMs is 10,000. That's well above the 9,000. So see how it really depends on what you've got as far as size on your lathe. The other thing is the weight of your lathe. A heavier, bigger lathe, you're going to be able to turn a little faster. It's going to handle the out of balance a little bit better. If you've got a smaller lathe or a lighter lathe, you're not going to be able to spin it up as fast. It's going to start to dance around. The one thing I would tell all of you is whatever speed you're at, make sure you're comfortable with that. If it seems like it's not right, if it seems like it's too fast, slow it down. For most of us, we're not production turners. We're supposed to be out here enjoying ourselves and having a good time. So slow down, have a good time, and stay safe, okay? Hopefully that answered the question about speed. And when I can, I will try to include a rough estimate of speed that I'm turning at. But please, don't think that that's what you should set your lathe at, okay? Hey, I've got a favor to ask everybody. Again, thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you like what you're seeing, please go down and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications if you'd like to be notified when I have videos come out. But the favor I've got to ask you is, everybody go down to the comments and let me know. If you're a turner, and some of you I know have told me that you haven't got a lathe yet, if you're a turner, let me know if you have a lathe. And let me know if you're a beginner, an intermediate, or an advanced turner. And you know, if you feel like a beginner, then you're a beginner. There's no shame in that. Every one of us started somewhere. If you're intermediate, you started to pretty well get the hang of things, and you're feeling comfortable with your turning, put that down. And if you're advanced, you've been turning for a while, go ahead and put that down too. It'll just help me to know who I'm talking to and help me as I am designing and putting together projects and videos this next year. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching. One other question I had is, what is the angle on your skew? And I get those questions quite a bit, is what is the angle on your skew? What's the angle on your spindle gouge? What's the angle on your bolt gouge? I plan on doing a series of videos on the different tools this next year, and we'll talk about the different angles on each one. This particular question came in multiple times about what is the angle on the skew that you're using, and unfortunately, I misplaced my angle gauge. So it took me a bit to find it, and when I found it, then I couldn't find the questions. So I wanted to answer that question today. And it's not a simple answer, because you see I've got multiple skews that I use. I've got 3 that I really use probably more than anything else. And when I looked at those, they had a combined angle of 35 degrees. However, I've got a skew that has a combined angle of 75 degrees. It's your personal preference. For the most part, I like a long bevel on my skews, and that's why I have a combined angle of 35 on the ones that I use the most. I do have a skew that's got a 75. Now, if you listen to Alan Lacer, I believe that he says 1.5 times the thickness of the skew is what you should make your angle. Make it work for you. See, I'm not going to use your skew, and you're certainly probably not going to be using mine. The way you grind yours might not work for me, and the way I grind mine may not work for you. So make it work for you, and don't worry about the angle, okay? Folks, one more time. Happy holidays, season's greetings, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you so much for supporting me and my YouTube channel throughout the year. I've got a few more videos that I'm going to be releasing before the end of the year, but I just wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you. I appreciate you folks tuning in. Stay safe, stay healthy, and happy turning.